everyone, welcome to Smith Shop Films, the show that gives you tips, tutorials, and reviews for beginning filmmakers. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Insta360 extension rod, and I just made that clip that you saw using this extension rod and an Insta360 camera. Also, I edited on my iPad, so keep watching and I'll show you how I did it. But first, I want to talk about this extension rod in case you're watching this video because you're thinking about picking one up. The extended version of the selfie stick costs $89 in the US, and they have a smaller version that costs about $16. And the extension stick is made of carbon fiber and weighs about 12 ounces. When fully extended, it measures 9.8 feet or about 3 meters for our friends in the UK. But you don't have to extend it the entire way. It also has markings on it so you can determine how long you want the extension stick to be. It's pretty cool. I like the beefy grip, and it's pretty easy to hold in your hand. And it stays relatively straight whenever you're taking your shots. I love that it's so long and I can catch all of the angles and basically get what they call in cinematography a jib shot, where the camera goes from a very high angle to a very low angle. One of the other things I really love about this is how small and compact it folds up. When you compress it down, it's only 14 inches or 36 centimeters, and I was able to stick it in my camera bag and take it with me on my recent trip to Mexico. And it looks a little weird, and people gave me some funny glances when I pulled it out because it is so long, but overall I was pretty happy with it. I like how lightweight it is, and it feels sturdy in my hands, and I'm not worried about whether or not my camera is going to fall off if this thing snaps. If there are any drawbacks to it, I would say maybe one of the drawbacks is that it is a thicker diameter than the other selfie stick, so it's not quite as compact, but it is pretty compact considering how big it gets, but not small enough to stick in your pocket. That would have been cool, but I wouldn't want something that felt more flimsy, so I'm happy with the design. So I asked my friend Dante Green to come and help me figure out how to use this thing. And if you haven't, do yourself a favor and check out Dante Green. He plays for the Killer Threes in Dr. Dre's 3-on-3 basketball league. If you're a sports fan, you're gonna love this thing. Hey, what's going on, family? This is Drew Smith for Smith Shop Films, coming to you with another video. Today I have the Insta360 One X2. This is the regular rod, right? You can see how big this is. Oh yeah, this is Dante Green, professional hooper extraordinaire. And this is the new Insta360 extension stick. So this thing is huge, and I brought in Dante so I could just show you how tall this joint is. Wait, it's not even all the way out. Look. Whoa, look, I'm gonna keep going. Whoa.
That's about what, like 8.5 feet?
So how tall are you, Dante?
6'10".
I think this, I think it's
10.
10, oh.
About 10.
All right, we're gonna try it out, try to see if we can get some cool shots. You'll need 3 things to get this shot: Insta360 One X2 camera, the extension rod, and a tall friend. And if you're not familiar with the Insta360 One X2 camera, check out this video where I explain some of the details. Basically, this is a small action camera like a GoPro. It has 2 lenses, one in front and one in the back, and it captures the scene all the way around 360 degrees. Then you use the mobile app, and there's also a desktop version which stitches the image together, and the stick that extends from the camera disappears. So it's kind of like the camera is just floating there, as if you had a drone filming or something like that. I did actually use a drone to film this demonstration, but that's the kind of effect that you get with this extension stick. So this technique is super simple. Basically, all you need is someone to help you, preferably someone tall with long arms, but not necessarily. Your subject will be in front of the camera with your hands out, and you'll push like you're pushing the camera away, and your assistant acts like the camera jib and swings the camera panning out away from the subject as you push. And that's all there is to it. All the rest of the magic happens in the Insta360 app. And for this clip, I repeated the sequence of swinging the camera out from the subject in a couple of different places. the pool at my hotel, and near the pyramids in Chichen Itza in Mexico. Then I alternated back and forth between the different clips when I did the editing. The editing part took a little bit of patience, but I was able to do it all on my iPad. First, I brought up the clips I wanted from the Insta360 camera. Next, I selected the first clip I wanted to work with and found my starting point. For me, I like to start either from my subject just beginning to push the camera away, or at the top of the peak from the arc where the camera is furthest away from the subject. If I was starting with the camera right in front of the subject as they push away, I selected wide or ultra wide and then adjusted the shot so that I had the right perspective, and then moved forward in the clip until I got to the peak of the arc. Basically, the camera was farthest away from my subject. At that point, I added another keyframe by pressing the little plus here and changed the perspective to Tiny Planet. A Tiny Planet is a weird effect that you can do inside of the Insta360 app where it shrinks the view to look like you're on a very small planet. Once you select Tiny Planet, you're going to adjust the perspective until what you see on the screen is round like a planet. Then select Reset your keyframe. Once you've done this, you can repeat the sequence from pushing away from your subject to the top of the arc. To make it blend a little better, I use LumaFusion, which is the editing program that I use on my iPad, and added just a simple blur transition between the clips. When I started the next clip, I was at the top of the arc, basically when it's furthest away from the subject, and I repeated the same step, except beginning the next clip, I selected Tiny Planet and adjusted until the picture was round the way that I liked it, and then moved forward in the clip until I got to my subject, and then changed the perspective back to wide or ultra wide. So basically repeat this process with all the clips and film in a couple of different locations, and it looks like you're throwing the camera and the viewer's perspective through space and time, which is pretty cool, pretty trippy. Now add some music and make final adjustments, and you're done. You'll notice that some of the shots, the camera angle spins, and I didn't actually do that intentionally. It just kind of happened by accident. So if you try this technique and you figure out how to control that spin, let me know in the comments. Alright guys, that's it for me, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, because when you subscribe, you're going to get notifications when new videos come out. And if you're ever looking for a video, you can go in YouTube and look at your subscriptions. You'll see my face. Then you can go in and find that video and watch it again if you need to see another part. Anyway, until next time in the next video, I will see you guys later, and stay creative.